is your host, Cowboy and Spade.
What is up, everybody? It's been a long time since we've seen you guys, man. We did a little unplug, and now we're back to talk about everything that's been going on in boxing. When I say I got a list, guys, I got a list, man. We're going to go back as far as the Gervonta Davis fight against Lamont Roach, guys, and then we're going to cover some ground from there. We're not going to hit every fight that happened, but we're going to hit some of the main fights, some of the main fighters, talk about some great news going on in boxing, what May's going to hold for boxing, our excitement for that. Of course, as always, it's your two guys with the most in the host.
What's up? Been a long time coming, baby.
That's it.
Been a long time coming.
That's it. We've been away for a while, man, and we've missed some things. I didn't really miss much. I kept up on some
We
of it.
ain't missed much, but we missed some
Yeah,
things. We gonna
yeah.
say that.
The good thing for me is I feel like boxing in 2025 hasn't started off the way it did in 2024. It's been a little bit slower start, so we didn't miss any major fights ever coming up. You know, I did check I was on the Davis fight. I did want to recap that fight, even if it was that far back, because man, I've got a lot to say about that fight. It really surprised me. I think Lamont Roach absolutely surprised everybody. He didn't surprise my guy Spade. Didn't surprise him. He told you he knew if you didn't know who Lamont Roach was, it's because you just ain't been watching boxing. He knew who Lamont Roach was. I like Lamont Roach. I thought he was good. I didn't think he was better than Frank Martin, and he was clearly better than Frank Martin. But I think there was way more to it. And I'm going to let you break down your part first. Tell me what you thought overall about this fight, man. I thought it was a really weird fight, but I'll let you tell me what you thought about it first, man.
Far as just Tank, I just felt like I don't know, man. He was like fighting like he wasn't boxing. Like you know how we see Tank boxing, he was head in, like he was trying to get the knockout. Like I felt like he was instead of letting the knockout come to him, he was doing a lot of banging, staying in the pocket. Um, and I just felt like he wasn't really. I don't been feeling like he motivated lately though. Like just the shit he be saying and who the people when they ask him about certain fighters, he act like he don't want to fight them or I don't know, man. I'm kind of like way losing touch with him. Like I ain't gonna lie, I'm like kind of like I don't know, man. For as Lamont though, he was hungry, like hungry fighter. He wasn't about to let this big situation, slip through his hands or nothing. It was his self chance to prove himself, but he been doing a lot of talking lately since that fight. So I hope what I mean that don't get to his head. Like you see Tank, he ain't even doing no inner he ain't doing none of that. But I feel like Tank wasn't just focused enough. Like like I don't know about the grease in the eye shit. I don't know. I don't think he should have took a knee, but they was saying the jab affected him. I don't think none of that shit really played a part. I don't know what happened. I ain't gonna lie, cause the punch ain't to me it didn't seem like it affected him. Like it was kind of after, and the jab it wasn't like a stiff jab. It was a flicker jab. Like you know what I'm saying. So I don't know, man. I'm looking forward for the rematch. Cause this right here gonna prove right here like where he at mentally. Like he got to be mentally into it. Like he been talking about retirement too much. When you feel like you, like they say, you feel like you ready to stop fighting, bruh. Stop. Like don't keep doing it, bruh. Cause you feel me. Like you ain't got that same drive and that passion for it like you did. Then that's an easy way for a motherfucker to knock you off the mountain, bruh. So. And Lamont was trying to do it. Lamont, he looked good, man. He looked good, but it was like he knew like when you fighting a motherfucker and they got that moment and they just know a motherfucker that's scared of you or frightened of you or nothing like that, they gonna come in there 100% how you coming in there. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't scared or nothing. But like I was saying last episode, Shakur versus Floyd Schofield or Tank versus Lamont, who got the better opponent? I said Tank got the way better opponent. I said I feel
Yeah,
like Lamont will beat the shit out of Schofield. Like if you take them two, Lamont will beat Schofield. I said I feel like Tank got the better opponent over Shakur. Like you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I don't know, man, but that fight was weird. Hopefully Tank focusing. I don't think he should have switched coaches and did all that shit, man. That shit.
I was gonna bring that up as if it was, he didn't have his usual guy. He didn't have Calvin in the corner with him.
It's
Uh,
it's
and
it's hard to
no,
trust people
and
though. Like it's hard to like DC and Baltimore got a big beef rival, whatever you want to call it. Like you don't. I mean, you know these guys, but you won't never know what they in, what
yeah,
they, what the back
what-
door
what-
might be
yeah,
open for you. Like I ain't gonna lie, like that. That could have been some DC shit. They giving him scoops. Like yeah, do this. You know what I'm saying? We about to. You know what I mean? You don't never know,
yeah,
man. You don't know how tight them people is for real. Like you come to their gym and here and there, but they is a unit for real. They from the same city. Like you don't never know what back door they open for Lamont to come in there and tell you
and
their game
uh,
plan and shit. You don't never know. It's shit, bro. It's hard
I,
to really trust motherfuckers nowadays, especially in the kind of this boxing shit. So you never know what the fuck they was telling him, their game plan, nothing. Like you feel me? You just don't
yeah,
know. You should have
yeah.
just stuck with Calvin, did your thing. Man, I don't know what made him do all that. Go, I don't know, man. That that
And
that to me, I wouldn't have did it.
for me, honestly, I not Lamont Roach. He was there to win. He was there to prove that hey, I'm not just some dude he's fighting. He doesn't have an advantage over me because I'm a 130 guy. There's no disadvantage here. I'm a good ass fighter, and he is a great fighter. But to me, Gervonta Davis is his own worst enemy in the ring. Looking out in the crowd, his focus was absolutely horrible,
Terrible,
horrible,
terrible,
horrible.
man.
Any other boxer gets knocked out doing the stuff that he was doing in the ring. You can't look out in the crowd in the middle of a fight and like I don't know who you're looking for. I really don't. I don't know who you're looking for in that crowd in the middle of a fight. That's something you might want to do when you're in the corner or something like that. Then when he was complaining to the ref nonstop about little and just taking his focus completely, like you can't stop in the middle and have a conversation with the ref in the middle of a round. Like those are the type of things that maybe like and if Lamont Roach actually has more power, I mean, and it shows you how good Javante really is. Javante Tank Davis is because this was the worst of Javante Tank Davis. This was his
Yeah,
worst. This was his worst that
and
we
we
have
done
seen
seen
him
fighters
as a
at their
fighter.
worst point before. So people act
Yeah,
like they ain't never seen.
e- e-
Like, come on, man. We done seen
yeah,
fighters at their worst before.
exactly. But if this is his worst, that's kind of scary because if he comes in focused on this fight, I think it's a completely different fight.
Yeah, it's a
I
different
really
fight.
think, and that's not taking anything away from Lamont Roach. He came in there hungry, and he did what he was supposed to do. And it was a weird fight. I think it should have been a draw. What did it end up being? Was it a draw at the end? Yeah, it ended up
Yeah,
being a draw,
draw.
wasn't it? Yeah. So yeah, I believe it was a draw because it was just too hard. Like Lamont was doing things, but he wasn't doing enough for you to say, okay, he should get the belt. He wasn't doing enough for me to say
Yeah,
he was
that's what I.
actually dominating. He wasn't doing anything to dominate the fight. He wasn't outboxing Javante. He was just,
He
tank.
pushed him back one time too, though. He's stumbling, wobbling, but it's boxing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
The whole kneeling thing, like
when you
that
fighting a
comes
50,
down.
my
Go
bad,
ahead.
bro. When you fighting a 50-50 fight, that's what's gonna happen. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? When you
Yeah.
fighting inside, that's a 50-50 fight right there. Like it's
Yeah, and you're in boxing, you're gonna get hit. You're gonna, and no matter who you are. My thing too, also the whole kneeling thing. A lot of people were like, "Oh, well, that was a knockdown because he kneeled. He automatically that's a
mhm.
knockdown." Blah blah. No, it's up to the ref. At the end of the day, the ref makes that choice that if that was a proper, if it was a knockdown kneel, or that was him kind of taking a what do
Yeah.
you call that? Like I guess an injury timeout.
Yeah.
or whatever, and the ref can determine that. So in the rule book, it kind of states that at the end of the day, that ref is the one that's going to make that decision if that call was was he knocked down or what. But like you said, it wasn't a big enough punch that I didn't see anything that hurt Tank on that punch. It was something that was in his eye, I believe. Just one of those
You think
situations.
so?
Yeah, yeah. I think he got some. You saw him rubbing on his eye, like he went and he was going like that. So to me, I think he definitely had something in his eye. But once again, another situation that you add to the rest of the non-focused situations that he had with complaining to the ref, looking out in the crowd for God knows who, I don't know who, in the middle of a championship fight with a professional boxer, and that's dangerous to do. No matter if you're Tank Davis, one of the best in the world or not. That's the kind of stuff you can't continue to do as a boxer because it's going to catch up with you.
Right.
Somebody's going to you can't do that against a Shakur Stevenson. You know what I mean? I don't believe you could pull that kind of antics looking out and not being focused against a guy like Shakur. You know what I mean? He may not knock him out, but he would beat him as far as if you went 12 rounds with Shakur and you fought the same way he did against Lamont Roach. I'm favoring Shakur in that fight because he's going to outbox you at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day. If you're not focused and doing what you're supposed to do in that type of fight, I would favor Shakur in that. So it really kind of changed my whole perspective about the Shakur Tank fight. Like if this guy doesn't focus, if Tank is focused, he's absolutely one of the best out there and super dangerous with his power. But the Tank that we saw against Roach, and like we said, everybody has a bad day. So I'm gonna chalk it up as Tank just didn't have a good he's got some things maybe he's outside of the ring, not having Calvin in his corner. To me,
Yeah,
that was a big, big issue. As soon as
and you
I
just
heard
gotta
that,
think though, like
I said,
Coach
"Why is
Calvin when he was.
Calvin?" Yeah, and he was there though at the event because he was in the one guy's corner in
Nah,
the
he was in
earlier
Tank
fight,
corner
wasn't he?
too. He was in Tank
What was
corner.
he his Tank's corner?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
because
was
there
there.
was
It
or
was
he
three
didn't
of them.
train
It
with him
was
for
all
the fight.
four of them. Matter of fact,
So
Coach
yeah,
Kenny
what
was
was
there
it? He
too.
didn't train
I
with him
think
or
he
something
ain't
like
trained
that.
with him, but
Okay,
this
yeah,
what I was about to say. Coach Calvin know how to bring that power. They got something where that power when he trained with Coach Calvin, that power is there. Like you see, like they make. I don't know. They got something where that power is there though. When he was
yeah,
training with them, he wasn't as powerful as he was with Coach Calvin. If you sit back and you observe, like damn, boy, he ain't hurt him as much as he would if he was training with Coach Calvin.
yeah. And that
And
makes you think, why did
I
Cal? I mean,
remember
this is a big fight. Do you think that they just didn't take Lamont Roach as that serious of a contender that he could just I don't even need to train him for this fight. I mean, that's your coach. How many? I mean, is that like
nah, I
would
think
you
he
do
took it.
you
I
ever
think he.
think do you ever
I,
think Eddie Reynoso wouldn't train Canelo for one of his fights?
oh man, hell
I don't
no.
think that's his biggest fighter. Javante is
I
your
don't know
biggest
what
fighter.
the
In my
fuck that
opinion.
was about, man.
No, I don't know. That was weird to me, and I think that could have been a situation because he just wasn't Tank, man. And that's not taking anything away from Lamont Roach because he did what he came there to do. He came there to show people who he was, and he got a lot of respect from it. If we see a focused Tank in the second fight, I think it's a different fight.
We see a
But
boxing tank, like
yeah,
boxing, and not like he was in the like I don't know what the fuck Tank was doing, bro.
I don't know if he was just paying attention to what people were saying in the crowd, if there was somebody out there saying shit, and because he was directing a lot of his attention to the crowd, that was
See,
he
I ain't
just
really get
like
the. I ain't even get the. I had to work, so I ain't get to really watch the fight. But what I was seeing, I'm going off what I was seeing, and I don't know, man. I ain't even want to go back and look at it for real, cause I already knew like he wasn't focused. I ain't been liking how he been talking, like 3 fights now, and he might
yeah,
not fight
counting down to
Shakur, and why should
retirement.
he
Yeah.
fight Shakur, and all that
Well,
shit,
now if
bro.
you're going to be
Fight.
fighting, you got 3 fights, and you're going to fight Lamont Roach again. Who is your last fight? I mean, what's the biggest money fight for him? Uh, would have to be Shakur, wouldn't you think?
I don't even know, man. It's like he been talking about fighting. He'll fight, right? Man, I don't know. You don't know because he ain't really put.
Ryan, yeah, if he fought Ryan
And
again,
then he said something
he
about
can,
Tiafimo at 140, like so. But I did get what he was saying though. He was like, and he it was kind of true, but I still don't. I still ain't with it. He was like, he wasn't even part of the Four Kings. It was me, Ryan, Devin, and Tiafimo. He said he was at 130. He just moved up. Like he wasn't even in the picture.
yeah,
Which
yeah,
is true. He was not in that
yeah,
picture. They put him in there. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? He talked his way in there though. He definitely
Okay,
did. Cause remember he wasn't. He was down at
yeah,
130.
yeah,
Like when they was talking about who the Four Kings was, it was Ryan,
yeah,
Tiafimo, Devin,
well,
and
yep,
Tank.
yep,
So he was like, he wasn't even like, I ain't even fight these guys. I see what he's saying though. Like, I ain't even fight them yet. Like, but y'all want me to fight
yeah,
him. I think that's how he feel. Like, y'all want me to fight Shakur, but it was Four Kings and I fought Ryan already. Uh TFM. Matter of fact, it was Loma Chico. I might hold on. Loma Chico was it was more
yeah. I
than
think
one Loma Chico
he
Tank.
might have been in there.
I
Yeah,
think Devin wasn't even in it. Devin wasn't
Tank.
even.
I
It
know
was
Tank.
Ryan,
Who
Tank
was it?
Ryan, Tiafimo, and I think Lomachenko. I don't think,
Yeah, Lomachenko definitely was probably on that
yeah,
list.
because what they call it, the five kings or four kings.
Yeah, I think because they try to jock what they did in the
Yeah,
'80s when they
eighties.
had
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
jock
So
that
yeah,
'80
I
crew.
don't think it was. I don't think Devin. I think Devin was at 130. Matter of fact, or when that. Yeah, I think he was at 130 because he moved up to 135, and then he hurried up and went to 140. Now he at 147. So yeah.
Yeah, that,
But
that fight at 147, man, that May schedule looks pretty good. Uh,
nah, don't
for
skip
me,
nothing. Come on, we gonna follow
yeah,
the
I'm
order.
not going to skip nothing
Yeah.
on it and jump to May already. We're going to go down to a fight that happened a little bit after. I think this might actually been on the same night, man. Lewis Crocker defeats Patty Donovan in a disqualification in a round 8 of the fight
Oh,
that
that dude
Patty
when he when he
Donovan,
when he when he
he was beating the brakes uh,
what had
off
happened?
Crocker.
What had
Well,
happened? They
the
they,
ref
they canceled the fight. The ref called the fight because of something. What dude do? Was it that?
hit him after the bell.
Oh,
Uh,
that was weak
when it
as
was over,
fuck.
weak. I mean, not a warning, not a I'm going to take a point.
That
Now,
was
but the
crazy.
ref was in there trying to save Crocker the entire fight. I mean, one of the most lopsided ass whoopings I've seen. Patty Donovan put on a show, and to get disqualified in that type of form, like it was weird, man. It's boxing for you. That to me was definitely a weird fight. Sucks for that Patty Donovan, man, because that beating a guy like Crocker that like he did, that would have been great for his record. Uh, I think he's still going to be able to. He may be able to overturn it. We'll see what's going to happen. But you know how boxing is; they'll sweep that under the rug, and he just has to chalk it up as a loss on his record. I guess a disqualification loss. But yeah, that was a crazy fight. That I watched. But yeah, the ref was just in there, kind of involving himself in the fight the whole time. Not really like Donovan was just dominating him, and then you would see the ref just kind of come in and weird awkward moments, and you're like, what the fuck is this guy doing? You're stepping in the middle of a guy throwing punches, like, what's going on? Like, it looked kind of suspicious, from the first 3 rounds of the
Yeah,
fight when he was dominating him, and the ref immediately stepping in 3 rounds into the fight. Oh, it's pretty, oh, you're holding, and you're like, what are you doing? Like, he's throwing punches. Like, there's no, like, it was weird. I didn't like what I saw, but and then the disqualification, it was hard to suck up. But that's boxing once again. Boxing, the wild, wild west of sports. You never know what's going to happen with these judges or these refs, man. Whose
right.
pocket are they really?
That was some BS though. I ain't gonna lie. That was not.
Yeah,
That was not. They ain't even give him a warrant. I think he did
no,
that straight
no,
off. Like, damn, who paid you? Like,
mm,
this should be deep, man. This
that's
should
no
be
doubt.
deep.
We did watch our boy Gary Antoine Russell
I
defeat
told
Jose
you.
Venezuela, and he
I
did
knew
it
it.
in a very, very super impressive way, in my opinion.
Destroyed him.
Destroyed him, boxed his ears off, looked really, really good. The question is, do you think that loss was a fluke for him, a bad day. Like we said, everybody has a bad day. Uh, you know what I mean? And is he ready for the likes of a Lopez, a Haney, the champions Hitchens and even a Subaru Mateus, ready for those level of
Yeah, like I felt like it was just like the Tank fight. He was looking for the knockout too much. He was
yeah,
looking for the knockout. He wasn't taking his time. He was, he fought a good though. Dude, decent. But I think that's why Devin ran, man. Real talk. I think that's why Devin went up to 147, man. And
yeah,
because he had that fight with Devin, that was supposed to be next for him for I think because they in the same section sanction body. So he was already talking about when I get this belt or when I get a belt, like I'm coming for Devin. Then Devin went up to
now, did
147.
did
Like you
Devin
ain't even
have
stay
to
at
vacate his
140,
belt? Did he vacate
huh?
his belt? Did Devin vacate the belt at
Most
140?
likely. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't
because I
know,
haven't
but
heard anything.
I don't see
Does
him
he
going
have the
back down.
WBC or something like that? Lopez is also fighting that. I'm trying to skip. My bad. We won't get into that. But
Yeah,
yeah. So that's interesting to see. But I think that open, even if a guy like Ryan's gone and Devin's gone, that just opens the door up
yeah,
at
it
140
do.
for Jack
The fight was
Catterall.
looking good,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. You got Jack
nah,
Catterall there, which him and Gary Antoine Russell matching up. That'd be a dirty little fight right there, bro.
yeah.
Them two, like that little dude from England. He's a scrapper, Jack Catterall. That dude keeps impressing me every time I watch him. He is a scrapper, bro. Like he's tough,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I
No
like
doubt.
to see I know he want Teofimo too though. Gary
Yeah,
Antoine Russell want Teofimo. He want whoever. I think he want whoever. I think it's his time to. You feel me? Because he been on the back burner for so long. Like, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? He got what
I
he
think,
deserved though. He deserved. I'm glad they let him get that fight though. Off coming off a loss because I feel like they knew he had a
yeah,
bad. It was just a bad
yeah,
night. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But he fought
Absolutely,
a good
man.
fighter at the same time though. But you still had bad nights. People act like you don't have bad nights in boxing, bro. It happened, bro.
Yeah,
It happened.
yeah,
Now when you like tank and you talking how you talking, then it's different. Like it's like, do you still got that appetite for this shit, bro? If you don't, go ahead and retire, man. Like,
yeah. I mean, he's always said he didn't want to grow old in the sport of boxing. That he wanted to retire by the
no,
age of what, 28 or some shit like that. I
no,
don't
he
know how
said
old he is
35.
now, 35. So he doesn't want to spend a lot of time in it. I don't think he's really. We talked about this before. I don't really think he even likes boxing. You know what I mean? I think he looks at it as a way for
Mm.
him to make money and a way for him to make a living and get to where he wants to get as far as like get rich and then use what you got. You know what I mean? Use what you know is what they say. And
Mhm.
sometimes people don't like you see football and other athletes who say, hey, they played the sport their whole life and I hated it, but hey, I was good at it. And it made me rich. So maybe that's who what Tank is, but that's dangerous if you're not focused. So, at the end of the day,
What you think about Venezuela though? What you think? Where you think he go from here?
uh, was he like was he originally a 140 guy? Because I don't really see him. I told you
You
like
know, he went up and fought Pitbull,
that's what
beat
I thought
Pitbull,
too.
took
So
Bull fight. So
yeah, so maybe jump back down to 135, put your hat in that ring because there's a few fights down there like Raymond Mortala that I would like to see Raymond Mortala matched up with somebody with a bigger name, and a guy like Jose Venezuela would be a great matchup, I think, for him. And then move back down to your original weight where you're more comfortable at 135. 140, it's a weird division because these guys really aren't 140, a lot of them. And if you're coming up and you're natural 140 something guy, and most of these guys are walking around at 160.
because
So
Venezuela was, oh yeah, he was one, yeah, he was 135. He fought Cobra at 135.
yeah, 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 both
Yeah.
times. Yep. So yeah, so if he moves back down to 135, and because that's a really kind of a open division. You got it's kind of in limbo if you think about it, as far as like Lomachenko, if he's even going to come back and fight. So that belt could be put up for grabs, and just nobody really fighting each other
Yeah,
at
like
one.
how long you get to keep the belt though? Like, come on, bro.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying. Well, that's what I'm saying, man. Like you see, for instance,
hold the shit up, man.
like you see other places like the IBF who will strip you if you don't fight a mandatory that nobody's ever heard of. and
Mm-hmm.
you're like, who the fuck is this guy? And then you have to lose your belt if you don't fight him. And then we see the WBC will let people keep the belt depending who you are. Uh, will let you keep the belt for fighting once a year and not really and skip your mandatories, and they're cool with it. So I think it's just who you are, and as long as you're paying those fees, they're cool with it. But if if you're not fighting and you're not a big guy, then you probably those fees probably add up, and you're just like fuck.
Yeah, cause
You know,
he holding shit up though. He holding the whole 135 division up though. Like you
yeah,
got a
because that
belt, you're not fighting. What you gonna do, bro? Like make your mind up. Like what you
yeah,
gonna do?
and he said he doesn't know really what he wants to do if he wants to fight again. And think about it, if you've
It
been
been a year now. Like come on, bro.
yeah,
Like
and it's the same situation as if like he's been fighting since he was a kid. You know what I mean? His dad's always had him in the boxing. And since he was like 6 years old, I think they said this kid's been in a boxing ring. So he might be one of them dudes he's made so much off boxing. He was the golden boy of boxing coming in and immediately
mhm.
was getting championship fights. What, 2 fights in? The guy was getting a championship fight. So he was making money hand over fist. And probably now is at the point he don't need it. And he's probably burnt out at this point. You know what I mean? Like that, I think that happens sometimes. And I don't know. I don't know. He looked good against Cabosa, but it was Cabosa. I can't really judge anybody off fighting George Cabosa. We'll get to him also. He fought earlier in the week, a
Mhm.
couple weeks ago or something like that. I did watch William Zapata defeat Tevin Farmer in a majority decision. Tevin Farmer was highly upset and felt he was robbed after an impressive second half of the fight. I don't know if you got to watch that fight. I thought it was a good fight. My only issue was I felt like the first half of the fight was dominated by Zapata in a way that it was hard for Tevin Farmer to, start fighting around the seventh round after you really like was getting outboxed most of the fight. I don't think he got robbed, but I think he put a great performance on against Zapata. Uh, I mean, he took his punches. I think he got knocked down early in the fight, but overall, I don't know. Of course, I think Zapata was going to get if it went 12, I knew they were going to give it to Zapata because they want to make that Zapata Shakur matchup, which I think is the only really route for them to go. But at the same time, here we go with Zapata. He's not a guy with a belt, uh, but he's demanding these big fights.
Man,
What's
now
your
they
thoughts
talking
on
about
that?
that might not happen because this and that, bro. This shit is weird, man.
Yeah,
This shit
so
is weird. They said, Shakur said he gonna. I guess they offering and the money ain't right, so he said they gonna let it get to a purse bid. And
well, yeah, because they had actually made it the mandatory, didn't they? They made it mandatory that Shakur fights him next. So we'll see
oh,
how
for
that
real?
goes. Yeah, yeah, I think WBC, if I'm correct, that's what Shakur holds.
Mm-hmm.
They made Zapata his mandatory, so he might have to go to purse bid, see how that goes. Did watch Tim Tszyu defeat Joey Spencer in a TKO round 4. Is Tim Tszyu back? And if so, who should he who should be his next opponent?
They,
I don't
they,
think.
they say him and Keith Thurman.
Yeah, did you watch Keith Thurman?
We beat the shit out of dude.
He absolutely did. What, like fucking 4 years out of the fucking ring? Like
We
I'm
beat the
like,
fuck out of dude.
yeah. So I'm like, damn. Okay, that's gonna be now.
Now
Like
that's a fight that I watch with Tim
that's a fight that
Tszyu
I want to
and
see now. Yeah, yeah. That
yeah,
makes
I
that
will
fight way
watch
more
that. I ain't
interesting.
watching Joey Spencer. I ain't seen Joey Spencer fight since he lost. Ain't
Yeah,
that the one young white kid?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean, it was
he was with
one
Top Rank,
sided
wasn't
fight.
he? Or he
I
probably was
think
with Premier. But he probably was with
not for sure who he was with.
yeah. I know who he is though, cause he lost his last fight against somebody. I want to say it was the Mexican dude beat his ass. Yeah, I know exactly who Joey Spencer is.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty one sided fight. And with what we saw with Keith Thurman and his fight and what he did, I think we do have Thurman on here.
They both
Uh,
had the same type of opponents, if you ask me.
Yeah, Keith Thurman defeats Brock Jarvis TKO in a round three after being out of the ring for 3 years. Thurman gave a very good performance in his return. Will we see Thurman versus Tszyu? That was a question I actually put together on there. So yeah, we were on the same page. We both want to see Thurman versus Tszyu, no doubt about that. I think that's got to be the next matchup, in my opinion.
I think
Who
I
else?
think
Who
I
else?
think Keith Thurman got better feet than Tim Zoo though.
Yeah.
I was watching Tim Zoo feet. He like punch like he in the sand. Like he ain't got no feet moving. I think Keith Thurman can box circles around him with that power. That's what I just think. Tim Zoo ain't got no good feet.
Hmm.
His feet. I was watching his feet. Like I just was watching. I seen some highlights of it. I'm like, bro, it's like he punched, but I don't know. Like it's weird. Like I don't think he got good feet to me.
Yeah, he got exposed in that fight, and I don't know what the hell happened. His That was the first fight his dad was at. Had I think in his whole career, I think that was the first fight his dad actually showed up to. Not a
Uh,
good fight, so not the one that he just had, but the fight before that. That trying to think of that guy's name, just beat the brakes off of him. Man, was hitting him with big shot after big shot. Uh, but yeah, he bounced back against a guy like, and I guess that's a good bounce back fight, anyways. To come back and kind of get a little bit of confidence fighting a guy like Joey Spencer, and then you can go face a guy like Keith Thurman and see how that fight goes. I think that's going to sell. Keith Thurman can sell fights. He
and
knows.
Keith Thurman said he'd go over there and fight.
Yeah, and I think that's wasn't that fight against Joey Spencer. Where was that at?
I
Was that?
think Australia.
Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah, yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
was thinking. It was in Australia. Also, man, I watched the fight last week in Janabek. I did not know he was on the schedule to fight, and then I look on my schedule and I'm like, holy shit, Janabek fight last week, and he defeated a guy, knocked him out pretty hardcore in the fifth round. The only place for Janabek to go has got to be Carlos Adamas. How we haven't had Janabek versus Carlos Adamas already in a stagnated 160 division is just beyond me. I think this is the only fight that should be made in that division. Of course, I think Chris Eubanks Jr. was in 160, but he's going to be fighting Conor Ben coming up. So
Mhm.
I think you got to have I don't know how they get this fight made because I don't know what's been stopping it for all these years, but Janabek versus Carlos Adamas, I think, has to be next for Janabek. If not, I don't want to see any more fights versus him versus a farmer's son. I mean, I don't want to see those fights anymore. He's got to definitely and Janabek's a hell of a fighter. I would give him the advantage against Carlos Adamas slightly, but just because I think he's got a little bit more power. But I think that's the only fight you can make at 160, man. Did you watch that fight any or check that fight out or
Mm-mm.
yeah?
I ain't
Richard
much.
Richard Torres Jr. defeats Guido Villano, unanimous decision. Does Torres have what it takes to be a top-notch heavyweight contender? In your opinion, is he too small?
I ain't even hip to him either. I ain't.
You've seen him a lot more than what you
Oh, you
realize.
talking about bro with top rank?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
tripping. Yeah, he
yeah.
just
Do a
fought.
top
Yeah,
rank.
he
You've
just
seen
fought
him a lot
Saturday.
more, yeah, because they
Yeah, he
they
just
put him
fought
on there a
Saturday.
lot.
Yeah, I always forget his name. It don't look like that's his name, man. I don't know why. It don't look
Yeah,
like his
yeah.
name.
No, no,
Torres.
no,
Like it
no,
always throw me
no,
off. Like, but
no.
yeah, I don't
Definitely.
know, man. I don't know. I kind of like him. I kind of like him. I don't know. That heavyweight shit different. So I don't know, man. You could be if one punch at heavyweight, man. Like, man, I don't know, man. I don't know. We just got to see, man. We got to walk with him, man. Who was the dude he fought? Like, was he in his
I
body?
don't. No, I don't. I didn't know much about the guy.
Did he?
He went the distance with Torres. I watched a little bit of the beginning of the fight, and then I kind of, went off
Yeah, that
somewhere.
was the main
Came
event,
back,
right?
like, oh shit, it's already 12. Yeah, like I
Yeah,
know it
it
was.
wasn't nothing to really
Yeah, it
catch my
wasn't
eye.
nothing.
Like,
No,
I don't
no.
know.
That we had a couple of those.
Dude seem like he fight
Week.
every blue moon too. Like he ain't been fighting for real. Like Richard Torres, he ain't been fighting like that. Like how
Yeah, yeah,
Anderson was fighting, he ain't been fighting like how
yeah.
Jared Anderson was.
I'd like to
He
see America and the UK get some of their younger, because the UK has some really good young heavyweights, and I'd love to see him start matching them up with the heavyweights in the US and get those fights going, because I think those are the more interesting heavyweight fights. Always, the UK versus US in the heavyweight division, and that Moses Atamu over there, he should be fighting coming up soon, maybe this weekend or so. I'd have to check it out, but I like this kid a lot, and I'd love to see him come over to the U.S. and kind of see how he matches up against our top heavyweights, because I really think he's a really good fucking heavyweight. Moses Atamu is a young guy over there, but matching him up against a guy like Richard Torres, I think Top Rank is a type of play. Like, if Top Rank's going to be making a move away from ESPN, then I don't know how they're going to go about handling their stable or who they go sign with next, but they don't seem to be getting any money back off of these guys because they're not matching them up. Like, they refuse to
Yeah, like
do business with Premier, and they refuse to do, like, they work with Golden Boy, but outside of that, they don't really work with anybody else.
I feel like Abdullah Mesa competition should have been a little better than what he just fought. Like, he damn near fought another. Like, who the fuck is this? Like,
Yeah,
he good, but he just be making them look like. Now I think it's time for him to step it up a
yeah.
notch. Man.
Yeah, because you see the talent there, and that's the only thing that, like, with Top Rank, like, when you see like a guy has a talent, they seem to just milk that and milk it, and then like Shakur, you can't have a guy like Shakur Stevenson and not, like, you work with Golden Boy. How the hell did you not make the Williams Zepeda fight happen already? You got Lomachenko already in stable. How did you not make that fight happen? You had Devin Haney at one point. How did you not make the Stevenson Devin Haney fight? You had Teofimo Lopez. All these guys, and you didn't make not like it never happened. We never saw Lopez versus Haney. We never saw the Stevenson in any of those big fights. And then when they lose, these guys are surprised, but that's not a good look. Like, it's almost like Mayweather's camp. Like, that's kind of the reputation that they have, is that they might have the talent, but they're not going to get you the fights. Like,
Yeah,
Premier, DAZN, and these other companies are getting these guys right now. So I don't know. I think Top Rank's sleeping, and you're wasting talent like a guy like Abdullah Mason defeating Carlos Amela TKO in round 7. How many times do you think this guy's going to fight this year, man? And will he
probably
eventually
for
fight? Do you think 4 times this year? Do you think?
yeah.
And we talked about they got to step his talent up. Do we see him fighting for any, like, maybe even an interim title or something? You know
I
what
know
I'm
he had
saying?
just got 2 little titles. I don't know what they is, but it's time for him to step it on up, man. He got more fights than Keyshawn Davis, man.
Yeah, and we'll talk about Keyshawn here in a little bit too. A little bit of news on him. We'll get over to Sebastian Bador defeats Chardell Booker in a TKO in a round 4. Man, or Cordell, was it Cordell Booker? But 154, and man, I don't really. It's hard. It was hard for me to judge that fight. I don't think Booker was on the level to be
Yeah,
able to
who
fight a
is
guy like
that?
Sebastian. I've seen Booker a couple times, and I've never been like, when I heard that fight was being made, I was like, boo, like that was just
Yeah.
boo. That was a
But
boo for
Dora
me.
gonna get his ass beat though.
Yeah, and he
He fight
Fedor.
somebody like Conwell or something, he gonna get his ass beat.
Yeah, I want. Well, he looked like we talked about establishing the jab, like he did. Like, did he learn from that Tim Tszyu fight? I feel like he did. He's fighting like, I'm bigger than you, and I know I am. I have the reach on you, and I know I do, and that's a dangerous Fedor to me. Now,
Yeah.
matching him up against a guy like Conwell is a good matchup, but his size, I think, for anybody is a wreak of havoc at 154. But
You
there's a
just
lot
gotta
of
tear his
guys.
body down. Gotta
Well,
tear his
yeah,
body
yeah.
down.
Take a page from Brian Mendoza. That's what he did. He wanted, like, because if you can, like, you can suck Pandora into a fire, because he likes to get inside.
Yeah,
He
he
likes
like
to
to
fight.
fight
He likes to
inside.
fight,
Yeah,
and he likes
yeah.
to get inside and fight. But that is also like his Achilles heel, almost, as we saw it with Brian Mendoza. If you can get him to come inside and fight you, you have a way better chance against a guy that size. If
Yeah.
he continues to fight like that big guy and just keep you outside, it's really fucking hard. Like, I saw Booker trying to get, like, he was, he wasn't just getting beat beat up. He was
Yeah,
attempting to get in, and
yeah,
there was no fucking way. No matter what he did, he went low, pop, hit him. He went
yeah.
high, pop, pop. Every time, there was just nothing he could do to get in to land any big punches on him. One-sided fight wasn't nothing impressive. It was over rather quick. It seemed like.
Yeah.
Uh, but who's next for him? Will we see?
I mean, Victor Ortiz.
Uh, what about Spence? You think Spence? Because they're saying
Man, we ain't even gonna talk
Do
about
you think we're going to
Spence.
see
I don't even
Spence
know if
fight
Spence probably retired, man. He just
Well,
don't
he
want to
said
say
he
it yet.
keeps like popping up, like just randomly
Um,
popping up,
that's
like, "Hey,
cool.
look,
He
I'm
just want
still
to be
here."
relevant. When people
But
just pop
yeah,
up, they want to be
like
relevant.
I'm just trying to figure out what his next one because he's saying he wants to go to 154. He has ballooned up, but it doesn't look like a healthy weight. It looks like when I looked in the mirror the other day, type weight, like that ain't good. Like I got to
Man,
lose
he's not fighting again, man. I'm telling you,
that.
it's
like
damn near
yeah.
two years now,
Well, we
two
said
straight
that,
years.
but then we watched a guy like Keith Thurman not fight for almost 3.5 years and come out, and I mean, just ridiculous. Like, I
But
know,
he see
his
Keith Thurman
opponent,
was in already in the mood about the fight though. He just got injured. Earl
yeah,
Spence ain't making no attempts. It's totally different.
yeah, because he still ain't got it. As far as I know, he still has not gotten a trainer, so that's kind of weird. We did see Nick Ball defeat TJ Donahue in a TKO round 10. Will we see Nick Ball versus Inouye this year? And is that a fight you think would be an interesting fight? Nick Ball versus Noah Inouye.
I mean, shit. I guess anyway, make him look like shit. So can't really.
With the
Who
way
knows?
I don't know, man, Nick Ball, man, he's a tough little dude. Like he's small though, I will say that, but of course Inouye's not big either. But
Is
he's
they
like
even in the
such
same
a
weight
wrecking
class
ball.
though?
And I want to say Inouye would have to move to 120 like more because if
Yeah,
I'm
cause
correct, isn't Nick Ball 126, correct?
six. Yeah, yeah. Because
But
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So it would have to be Inouye moving up to him, which if I don't know where I want to say in a ways he's not at the 126, but I know he's at the 121 or something like that,
Yeah.
118 to 121. So it's not that far of a distance for if they were to even make a catch weight fight or something like that. I don't know. For me, it's just kind of a stretch, just trying to see who would be next for Nick Ball in this type of situation. I like what I see from him, but not a lot of talent right now for him to
126.
fight.
He could fight.
Ford moved
No,
up.
not for who just fought Figueroa, my boy. Just beat Figueroa at 121 at 126. That just lost it anyway.
Are you talking about Brandon? He beat Brandon Figueroa.
No,
Uh,
no. From Philly, man. I can't even think of his name. They just had the Timbs on and shit. We were just talking about him.
oh, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. He looked really, really good, and damn it,
And then Nick Ball can also fight Shoo Shoo.
Shushu would be a nice little fight.
Shoo
That would
Shoo
be a
looked
really
good. He been
oh,
looking
okay.
good.
That would
Shoo
be a great fight for
But you know who
Shushu.
I'm talking about from
I know exactly what you're talking about, and I can't think of his damn name.
Scooter. That's his nickname.
It's what
Scooter.
happens when you go this long, and
Damn, bro. I
talk
can't
about
even
it
think
every day.
right now.
You lose track of the guys, but I know exactly who you're talking about because he looked damn good. Wore the
Yeah.
Timbs in the fight. He was on that big card, one of the fights on that big
Hold on, I gotta look,
card that they
man.
just put up out there in Saudi Arabia.
I gotta look real quick, man. I hate doing this, but I gotta look. Could you hear me still?
Yep, I can hear you. I can hear you. While you're doing that, I'm gonna talk about other notable fights that we had going on. You had Michaela Mayer defeat Sandy Ryan. You had George Kambosa Jr. defeat Jake Wiley. Colin Walsh defeated Dean Sutherland. Armando Vargas defeated Hernandez, and Amo Williams defeated Arvoni. Subaru Mateus defeated Venezuela this week over the past weekend. Those are notable fights that also happened in the last week or so.
Damn, man, I ain't gonna be. Hold on.
And then once we get back with the big spade, we're going to go over this week's big fight coming up. Of course, I think you know what fight that is, and should be a pretty decent fight actually. I know it
Uh,
was on the last Turkey Al Sheik card over there. He was on the undercard on that, and
Fulton, man, Fulton.
yes, damn it, the one that lost it in a way.
Stephen Fulton.
Yeah, he
Him and
lost it in a way.
him and Nick Ball be a good
Yeah,
fight.
Stephen Fulton,
126.
Stephen
Stephen
Fulton,
Fulton. Yeah,
yeah,
like
Stephen Fulton,
Scooter
yeah.
is a nickname.
And as
Scooter.
soon as you said it, like I knew, like
Yeah.
like how did we forget that name? Okay, going over this week's big
You
fight.
forgot a fight too, though. You skipping stuff, so I'm gonna get
Okay,
on you.
before I could say what fight did I forget about? I
Brian
did go
Norman.
know the one. Oh, I forgot about Brian Norman fight. Maybe because he didn't fight anybody relevant, and he skipped out on the Jerome Boots Ennis fight, which was a bigger fight. And I don't know, man. I don't know. He has his opportunity to fight the big fight. I wasn't impressed with that Brian Norman fight. I mean, I guess he looked good. You said he looked really good, right?
I feel like he
Uh,
did because dude looked tough. Dude ain't never been knocked down or nothing.
okay.
He stopped him. He looked at he got power. He got something for you. If you come in that motherfucker, you ain't just coming. You gonna respect what he giving.
So you think he gives Jerome Boots Ennis a good fight?
I don't know. We're gonna see how
We're
he
gonna
look.
see. We're gonna see.
But
Speaking of
we wasn't impressed with
boots,
his last fight.
no, no. But speaking of boots,
No.
tomorrow or this Saturday, IBF, WBA, and Ring Magazine welterweight title Jerome Ennis versus Amate Stanionis at Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Brought to you by DAZN. Saturday, April 12th, 8 o'clock. Don't miss that. That's going to be a heck of a fight. Probably one of the best fights. I think. Hold on, but here's my thing too, though. What is your thoughts on this fight? Is this going to be a good challenge for? Because I seem like I'm stuttering with my words here, stumbling over my words because I'm still kind of confused about Stanonis because he took so much time off, and the last time I saw him, he'd been out for a while, and like he come in and they give him a belt after not fighting for almost 3 years. They hand him a belt, and then now he's going to get to drone Boots Ennis fight. Uh, so it's hard for me to gauge exactly because yeah, I've seen him fight, and he looks like a great fighter. When especially before he went on his 3 year hiatus, that's when I was big on Sanonis. At that time, this is 3 years past that point. So I don't know. Like for me, it's hard for me to gauge what we're going to see in this fight, especially after kind of what we saw from Boots in his last fight. It wasn't a bad fight. He fought a good fight. He outboxed the dude. He won the fight. Whatever he did, what he needs to do. It was a fight that I just don't think Boots was into because it was a forced fight for him. He had already beaten the Karen guy before, and then they made him as mandatory. So it was almost like one of those fights, like they forced him to fight that fight. And he was, he just wanted to go in there, do what he needed to do, get the win. But it's hard for me to gauge this one because Sanonis has been out, and then what we saw from Boots in the last fight. Hopefully, what kind of fight do you think we get on Saturday from Boots Ennis himself?
Shit, I hope we get that boost they been talking about. Not that boost from that last fight, but I feel like shit. I don't even know his opponent. I don't even think I ever seen him fight before. So
You
I
have
can't
he
really.
recently. I remember I told you about him last year. Matter of fact, it was last April. Was the last time he fought, or last May, one of the two. I think he was on the May card, on the undercard, really on the undercard. And I told you about him, like, hey, there's that Stanonis dude that I've been talking about. And then he fought that, and then they just kind of gave him a belt, like, oh, okay, now you're a champion. Like,
Yeah,
like I don't know, it's weird for me, but we'll see. I think this is going to be a tough fight for Boots. I don't know, man. It's hard for me to gauge on this one
for
because
real.
I just don't know because Stanonis has shown me he is a talented fighter, but I still think he's kind of younger. And just being out of the ring as long as he was, I think that plays against him. Boots has been way more active. stayed in the ring. So I just think he's going to be more ready and prepared. I would give Boots the edge, but I just don't know what we're going to see from Stanonis. So that's why it's hard for me to gauge. Are we going to see what boxing thinks Stanonis is? Boxing thinks he's this big, welterweight, like top contender. So we'll see because he's going up against Boots. We'll see if he holds up to what people think he is. So we'll find out
We're gonna
for sure.
see.
We're gonna see. That's gonna be not a
Let's
bad
have her fight too. Ray.
right there. The co-main event: Raymond Ford versus
There you
Thomas
go.
Pettis. Yeah. That's gonna be
Yeah,
the co-main event. That's gonna be a good little fight. I
that should
like
be
what
a
I
good
saw from
fight.
Ford in his last. I like what I see from Ford in almost every fight. He's a good fighter,
Yeah,
man.
I fuck with Ford.
Yeah. So that'll be
Fuck with
interesting,
Ford.
man. Uh Oh yeah, let's not forget, man, something we don't want to forget. Let's give a heartfelt moment to the late great world heavyweight champion George Foreman, who passed away last month. And hats off to that guy who provided a lot for sports. His story is something that's kind of weird too because he took losing that Ali fight to heart so much that he didn't fight for 15 years after that. Uh, Stepped away from boxing for 50. That's how hard he took that fight, that loss. And here's a guy that had that image of, in the 60s and 70s of Mean George, like fucking this dude
Yeah,
knock you through a wall, and he just kind of even had that look of, don't test me, motherfucker. And
yeah,
then in the 90s we got the big soft teddy bear George. He still came in the oldest heavyweight to ever win a fucking belt at 50 years old. Did what nobody thought he could do and recaptured the belt at a real late age in his life, but he became a teddy bear to America. What I mean? He became the George Foreman grill guy and the
mhm.
guy who named all his kids George. What I mean? Every one of his kids, from his daughters to his sons, are all named George. I don't know how the fuck you got how did he get his wife to agree to that?
I think it's like the George, but they got like the N, like Georgina, George,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
But I don't know how he got his wife to agree that they got like 7 or 8 kids or some shit like that.
Uh,
You know what I mean? So it's crazy. But yeah, he was definitely a legend in the sport of boxing, and he was one of the the bright spots in boxing. I think later on, especially boxing being a some kind can be a darker sport as far as the grimy stuff that happens behind the scenes and stuff like that. And then you had a guy like George Foreman who America could really kind of relate to, and he had that kind of that
I
grandfather
didn't know
feel.
he was out for like 15 years though. God damn.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he took that Ali loss pretty hard, man. And he said that he dealt with a lot after taking that loss, and it just kind of stepped away. And I think he became a pastor and all
Yeah,
kinds of stuff.
yeah,
It
yeah.
just changed his life. So, hey, hats off and rest in the peace to one of the legends of boxing, man. His name will live on forever, no doubt. George Foreman. Let's also remember legendary Kenny Adams, Hall of Fame trainer of 25 world champions, and he died at the age of 84 over the weekend. Hats off to him and his family and what he did for boxing. Now moving over to boxing news, my guy. I see I had something really cool set up for this. I was going to be like, boxing news, and it's going to be all cool.
Yeah.
But it didn't work out. They was like, "Hey, pay us $20 and you can do it." And I'm like, "Oh, y'all got me. What the hell?" But Demetri Duvall vacates his WBC belt, and David Benavidez is to become full title holder. Bivol says he wants to honor his agreement to fight Bivol for a trilogy fight. Do you respect that? And is the WBC acting a little too harshly by making him vacate the belt in this type of situation?
I mean, shit, why not? They split it 1-1, so why not see a third one? But at the same end, I don't think they should have stripped him. Like, why y'all stripping him? Because y'all ain't getting what y'all want. Like, this should be gay.
Yeah,
Like, and then
yeah,
okay, you know, God damn it, Benavidez, that's my boy. But you gotta wait your turn, bro. Like, they got some shit going on right now. Like, and got some back and forth. Like the way he gonna fight you and then go back and fight him? Nah, let him. He ain't gonna move like that. They gonna fight again, which I don't know, man. I don't know. This shit just be weird. I don't know. All that shit weird. Cause I'd rather see Benavidez and Bivol, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, because that's how I am too. Because I'm kind of like you. Having a rematch, I'm not against. Mandatory rematch is not so much a fan of, but trilogies, I'm not really super fan of because I always feel like
Yeah,
by the second fight, you really know who is a better fighter, and I just felt like Better Beeve is at the point where Father Time is catching up to him. He is in an older age fighter now. Bivol showed, that he kind of learned from that a lot from that first fight and made the right adjustments. And if he does that in the second and the third fight, it's going to pretty much I think be the same results. And I don't like seeing trilogies hold up a division. I don't agree with the WBC of stripping him of the title, but
right.
I do kind of get their aspect of we don't want to hold this division up,
Yeah, like move
and we
on. Like,
got a
come on.
guy like
Yeah,
David Benavidez,
yeah,
so we want
yeah.
to give this guy an opportunity to not only get the belt if it's vacated, or an opportunity to fight a guy like Bivol, or he deserves that opportunity to become a champion. I think they know they screwed him over at the 168 division for
Mm-hmm.
years, not allowing him to be even after being Canelo's mandatory and not making that fight happen. I think they think in the long run we owe this guy, and we can't do this to him again in light heavyweight. A trilogy holds up a division, so I'm border of it. I don't care for trilogies. Don't want to hold up a division, but maybe you don't strip him of the belt. But at the same time, now David Benavidez has that belt. Who can he fight at the 175 division right now? That's not Better Beeve or Bivol. He just beat David Morrell, so we throw that out the window. Who's next at one? Like now, you're kind of still holding that up. You're still holding that division up. So I guess he'll just take a hold me over fight at some point this year. Maybe we see him fight a couple times before he gets involved, because who knows when that fight actually happens. And then after
Right.
that, is one of these guys that whoever wins, are they going to want to take a break, after a hard trilogy fight and stuff like that. So that could be over a year before he gets an opportunity to fight a guy like Babal or Better Beef. So now I think you start pushing that door towards fighting Canelo. Hey, I got the WBC belt at the 175 division. He's fought at 175 before. You're fight David at or
Oh,
make David.
Canelo?
Yeah,
I ain't fighting him.
give David
I
a
ain't,
chance at 168.
I
Even
ain't
if
fighting him.
I think if you told David that, he would vacate that WBC belt and go down, or the WBC may give him the pass in this type of situation where Bivol, Better Beef are holding up a division. And Canelo says, "Yeah, I'll fight him at 168." The WBC may give him a pass to go back down to 168, which I don't think is a good thing for David Benavidez, getting used to 175. But at
Yeah.
this point, what is he to do? Who else do you fight?
I don't
You know,
know. I don't know nobody
you're
at 175.
yeah, you're at the prime of your career. Maybe who else is at 175? I don't know if Colin Smith is at 175 or if he's in the weight division above that. Might be a pretty decent fight for him. Colin Smith's a pretty tough guy. Yeah, I'd have to look up other guys in that weight division. Joe Smith, I think, moved up. Joe Smith's a good weather type fighter who gives everybody a decent little fight. Tough dude. But I think he did move up out of 175. He would probably come back down to fight a guy like David Benavidez for sure. But not a lot of options. So Canelo's got 4 fights. He knows what he's doing with 2 of them. Start knocking on that door. Hey, give me that chance. If you're David Benavidez, what else is
He
out there
been
for you,
knock. He
payday
been
wise?
knocking. Canelo ain't gonna fight him. Canelo.
Knock that door
He
down. Kick it in.
he he
Uh,
he ain't gonna fight him.
make your presence
That shit
felt.
over with.
I
I feel
want to.
like Canelo and Tank on the same shit. We ain't gonna get the Tank and Shakur. We ain't gonna get the definitely ain't gonna get the Benavidez and Canelo. We could count
Yeah,
that out. That shit over with. That shit is over with. I ain't lying to you. That shit is a wrap. And don't
yeah,
let Terrence Crawford beat him. It's definitely gonna be a wrap.
yeah. I think that's a fight we'll talk about on another day. It's not close enough. It's too far for me. But I have seen Crawford, and he looks pretty damn healthy and good at that weight. He's carrying it really well, and I think he's got plenty of time to grow into it. So I think he'll be ready for 168. WBC orders Shakur Stevenson and William Zepeda as to go into negotiations. We talked about that going to a bidding. Shakur turned it down at first because it wasn't enough, so it should go to a purse bid, and we'll see how that goes. But I think we do see that fight happens. Who else are you going to fight if it's Shakur? I you know he gets so much slack that I think you take a fight like William Zepeda, and if you beat this guy, because William Zepeda has looked very human in his last two fights, to the point that I think Shakur would beat him rather easily. I think too.
I already said that and shows ago. Shakur
Yeah,
pick him apart.
yeah,
So
I think yeah. And after seeing his last two fights, I agree 100%. He would pick him apart. You also got the undisputed junior welterweight championship. Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano
pause.
and
And I
Madison.
gotta pause you too. I gotta
You're gonna
pause you.
pause me on this right.
Because this is a fucking trilogy that old girl A having not won one fight. I'm tired of these. They want
Katie
her to win
Taylor,
so
the
bad,
50,
man.
like the Amanda Serrano, you don't like. I don't know that second. Okay, the first fight, I
But it's a
think.
trilogy.
I think Katie, for the females, there ain't nothing going on in the female division. Like this one, and I think a lot of it also has to do with the Madison Square Garden going back there. Like the first fight, the very first fight at Madison Square Garden was electric.
Yeah.
Uh, but these two girls are gonna make more than they've made fighting an entire career. You know what I'm saying? Off these three fights. Enough to live the rest of their lives out. I think it's great for them. Man, it's a tough fight because, like you said, Amanda Serrano didn't win. She
Either
lost
fight.
two. But the thing is they were so close that they were just so controversial that people are like, she won. Like people want to believe that she won those fights too. You know what I mean? Because they were so close. And I think it makes for an exciting third fight. I think, like you said, they want to give her a fight. So if it's close in this third one, then I could see Amanda getting that nod.
Man, we're
Why?
gonna get a fourth one. Then a
Yeah, yeah,
fifth one.
yeah. They're gonna just keep fighting each other.
Like it's just them. Fight,
Yeah,
fight, fight.
that's it. Them girls be, whoa, they go at it, bro. They really do. It's super exciting. I love it in my house because my little girl gets super excited about that fight.
Yeah.
Uh, so she gets pumped up about those two. Keyshawn Davis headed to first offense versus De Los Santos and
Oh, he
Norfolk.
fighting De Los
Yeah,
Santos?
yeah, he's going to be fighting. At first, it wasn't going to happen, and then now it's back on.
What?
So yeah, now it's official. At first, they said earlier in the week I was reading that the fight wasn't going to happen because De Los Santo couldn't come to an agreement on how much he wanted, and then I read just today that it will happen, and it's going to be in Norfolk, in his hometown in Norfolk, Virginia, and he'll be fighting on June 7th. So that's going to be a pretty good little fight, De Los Santos.
You
I
think
like.
so?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that.
That's a
Uh,
danger fight. Is that a danger fight for Keyshawn?
if he's fighting the way he's been fighting, no, no.
Shit. They said
You
De Los
you think
Santos.
you
They
think it
said he
is?
got. I don't think he gonna fight him like he been fighting everybody else. He ain't just coming towards him. You think he coming towards him like that? Or say he got power.
Man, like the type of groove that Keyshawn's in right now, he's got that. He's feeling himself,
If
and you can
if
see
he
it
if he
in the
watch
ring.
him, if he watch him, they gonna be saying he better than Shakur. I'm
Well,
just
yeah,
telling you
because
that
that
now.
fight between
And
him
then
and
they gonna be
Shakur
talking
was
about him and
doing
Shakur
shit.
fighting each other. Watch what I tell you.
Mhm.
Watch what I
Yeah,
tell you.
and you said that fight won't happen. I don't know if it will or not. We did talk about this already. The David Benavidez elevates the full WBC title holder for the light heavyweight division. Not ideal, in his words. He says, "Not ideal, but it is what it is." And a statement from Benavidez. He doesn't
Mm-hmm.
like just being handed the belt by the WBC. Doesn't like it, but he knows it's also part of the boxing, and he's not going to argue getting a title belt, especially a guy like David Benavidez. When we look at the 147 division, you can look at a guy like Stanionis coming in this weekend, who absolutely has fought nobody and is a title holder and was just given a belt, compared to a guy like David Benavidez getting a WBC belt after we've seen what David Benavidez. We think he's a champion. So,
Right.
we feel like it was only a matter of time before he was going to get a belt. Maybe not the way he wanted to get it, but he is now elevated to the WBC full-time champion at the light heavyweight division. We'll see what he does with that. Now, I do want to go into talking about May. May is coming up. I think May is going to be the best month for boxing, and that could be a really bad thing because it ain't been a super exciting year so far. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I was so pumped up from 2024, the beginning of it, that I expected us to kind of come out of the gate in the same way. And it brings me to the question, Big Spade, is Turkey Al Sheik starting to die down in boxing a little bit? We haven't seen him, like, we've seen him put on some good cards this year, but we haven't seen him as active. Like, we had a full summer filled last year. From the beginning of the year, we knew what our summer was going to entail with the fights and everything that was being made last year. Is this Turkey Al Sheik actually bogging down? And are we going to is boxing about to kind of go back to normal?
I don't know. We're gonna see after May. I know that because them some decent fights. I like
May,
that May card.
that
Devin
whole,
Haney.
God, I mean, you start on, what is it, basically a 3-night fight event? Because you're going to have the Ryan Garcia and all that. That card's going to be on a Friday. Then you got Canelo on Saturday, and then you got Inoue that Sunday, I think it is, because I think it's 3 mega fights. Basically, you're going to have 3 huge, like, just, I mean, probably the most competent. Like, that's a pretty good week end of boxing overall, and I think it's going to be hard for boxing to top it. But man, it's kind of, I don't, where it's kind of started off slow. It makes me also excited that maybe it doesn't end like it did last year. Remember, we talked about how boxing ended last year, not as exciting as the way it started off. So maybe
Uh,
it starts out a little bit slow, and then midway through summer,
it's gonna
things
be
pick up.
exciting because we're gonna get that Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia fight.
Yeah, yeah,
So
we
wherever that's
know we're
gonna
going to
be
get
at.
that. Yeah, and then we're possibly going to get a Bivol versus Better Beeve trilogy at some point. You are going to get Canelo versus Crawford. So I think it's going to pick up, and it's. I think we could end really well for boxing. So I don't want to take it as too bad that we haven't started off the way we did last year for boxing, but I think May's going to kickstart some things. Like, that's really going to put boxing back on the map a little bit. That's a huge weekend. And, with the Ryan Garcia and the Haney and all these guys fighting on the same card, Teofimo Lopez. Who's Teo fighting? Is it Hitchens?
What on
Who's
this card?
the May card? Who's he fighting in May?
Some other Mexican dude. I don't know his name, but
Why can't I remember who is
it
fighting?
ain't Hitchens.
Not Hitchens.
I
Let me
want to
check.
say his name start with a B.
It's the.
Ramboza? Is it some shit like that?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's Arnold Barboza. Is
Yeah,
it Arnold Barboza? That's a damn good fight if it is. I like Barboza.
yeah, that's who he fighting.
Here it goes. Yeah, Arnold Barboza. Going to be Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez, and then, of course, Garcia versus Romero. But yeah, that's a hell of a May, man. That's definitely a way to kick off May. Gets me excited to get to May. You know what I mean? But this weekend, nice little fight with Boots back on there. I'm going to be tuning into that, man. Outside of that, how much? What do you got for us, Big Spade? Any news? Anything you want to talk about? Anything on your list of things that pop up that you want to that I may have forgot? Maybe a fight I forgot. Maybe news I skipped over. You know what I mean? Clue us in. Clue us in. What do you got for me?
Nah, but I did shout out to one of my little homies. He was well, not really. I know of him and shit. From Real Deal Boxing Gym. He was sparring Tay, his name Tay. One of the kids I told you he probably gonna be joining the Olympic team for real. But he was sparring with Conwell. He only like 15, 16 years
Really?
old.
Yeah. Okay. Guy
Mm-hmm.
like
They just
Conwell.
huh?
Yeah, against Conwell.
Yeah, he was sparring against
15 game.
Conwell.
Okay.
Yeah. He only like he probably like 15, about to be 16. Man, I held the mitts for man. He southpaw too. I held the mitts for this boy. I said, "Oh yeah, we gonna go ahead and put these down, my boy." He hit hard. He hit hard like that,
Yeah,
man. We
like,
gonna go
I
ahead
ain't
and
got
put them
time for
down.
this. You ain't paying me.
Yeah, we gonna put them down.
That's it.
So yeah, I seen that. I'm like, damn, like he a grown ass man. I'm like, this little motherfucker. That's what's up though. He getting that already, getting that. Getting that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's what's up. But as far as news, I really ain't got no news, man. I really ain't got nothing. That's off the top. I know it's Deontay Wilder supposed to be coming back. Fight.
Yeah, I heard that, but his last
Yeah.
like I don't even know what to think about that one. I'm just like, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, you're gonna get paid, whatever. Uh, of course, we always like to see a guy like I don't know, man. I just never seen a guy just completely forget how to throw a punch, and then, you one of the hardest punchers boxing has ever seen, and he
Yeah.
just I don't know. So I don't really know what to think about Wilder. And I just hey, best of
And
luck to him.
then like, where these other dudes at? Like Andy Ruiz, like where these guys at,
Oh
man?
man,
Like,
come on, man. Andy Ruiz, he got hit. He was a Buster Douglas. He had his 15 minutes of fame. Part time. He got his championship belt. Was a champion for a little bit.
yeah,
Outpriced himself a lot. His father supposedly outpriced him a lot. Man, probably caused him a lot of fights, a lot of time. Caused him trainers, everything, man, because he was dropped by a lot of guys too. Uh,
yeah.
couldn't get a trainer for the longest time, so he might have just had that reputation. I think we'll see him coming up. I think we'll see him in the summertime at some point. But yeah, for sure, man. I don't know of any other news, man. Like I said, man, I put this show together. There was so much for us to talk about. I knew it was going to be a long show. Once again, episode 96 of Bourbon and Boxing, man. We took a little bit of unplugging time to get reset our minds, which is good to do, man. It helped me reset my mind a little bit, man. Focus on other things, trying to clear my mind up and be a more thoughtful, cool person, get into my faith a little bit more, stuff like that. Spend, be more, a little bit more time with the kids, family time, become closer with my girl, shit like that. Definitely made me stronger as a person, man. It's definitely a good thing to do. I look forward to doing it again next year. Unplugging. You know what I mean? So definitely was a pretty cool experience. You helped me to say, hey, yeah, I'll take that plunge because my church was wanting us to do it. And then you talked about you were going to do kind of like not really an unplug, but, your little 40-day thing that you were doing. And I'm like, you know what? Hey, if he's going to do it, why not? I'm going to try this out too. Why not? You know
Yes,
what I mean?
sir.
Heck yeah. But like always, my guy, Big Spade, take us out of here, man. Tell them what they can do with bourbon and boxing.
Tell y'all what y'all could do because we back. So we gonna repeat what we used to do. Like, subscribe, comment. You know what I'm saying? We back in effect. Bourbon and boxing. You know. Let's turn up like we hope these fights gonna turn up. Don't keep having us and man, bruh, just come on, let's get
Yeah.
this shit jumping, man. It's fighting, man. You gonna lose some, you gonna win some, but you gonna live. Live
Yeah.
to fight another day.
Yeah.
God damn, let's get this shit going, man. Let's get these fights going, man. That's what I wanna see. Let's push
Absolutely.
for these fights. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, like, subscribe, comment, bourbon and boxing, man.
That's it,
One
baby.
one click and make it stick, man.
All right, guys. Peace out. Thanks for joining.
Yep.